Our next bout is presented by Pizza Plus. It's a bantamweight bout at 135. It's 3-1 Eric Armstrong out of Knoxville, Tennessee, taking on Rodrigo the Monster Gonzales out of right here in Kingsport, Tennessee. Ready for our fighters to come to the cage for our official fighter introductions. Here is Jennifer Oxendine.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, we're about to jump into our second half of the card tonight. Just real quick, a reminder, make sure you join us at the official after party at Hog Wild Saloon here in Kingsport, Tennessee. If you don't know where it is, it's on Stone Drive. Just keep on driving. You're going to see it there on your left. So we're going to jump on into our next fight. It's in the bantamweight division. First, fighting out of the red corner, please welcome to the cage, Eric Armstrong.
Eric Armstrong is first out. Eric 3-1 in his MMA career as he is out of Knoxville, Tennessee. Casey, tell us a little bit about Eric Armstrong.
Well, the Underground only has him listed as 1-0. Apparently, he's 4-1, which there are a lot of places, Virginia, other states that don't actually record a lot of the fights. So he's been a lot more active than his record actually shows there. But a very tough guy. Regardless, it shows that he's got the winning power. And of course, his last fight back in August, big guillotine choke in under a minute, he comes out with a head of steam.
Yeah, he beat TJ Freeman in August at Valor Fights 25, and it took this fight on short notice as well, which is always, it's tough for, it's more so for the fighter taking the fight on short notice, right? But you got to weigh the opportunity versus, hey, maybe you may not be fully prepared for it.
Well, sometimes, and the other thing about taking a fight on short notice like that is, yes, you don't have maybe as much time to get nervy about the fight. It's just like, hey, I know exactly what's going on. I saw how this guy was preparing. Now I'm just going to step in here, and he maybe doesn't know that much about me. And on the other side, if you're not well trained, yes, it's not a good idea if you're not prepared. If you had a good camp already, if you've been training for something anyway, stepping in there on short notice could, sometimes change, shake up your career and do something positive.
And his opponent, Rodrigo Gonzales, boy, have we seen him in some unbelievable quick ending fights. He had the back-to-backs with Cody Jordan. Jordan won the first time in 21 seconds, and then Rodrigo came back next time in only 17 seconds. We'll talk about that in 1 second as Armstrong is in the cage. Back to Jennifer Oxendine.
And his opponent fighting out of the OEB blue corner. Please welcome to the stage, Rodrigo Gonzales.
3-3 Rodrigo Gonzales out of Bushido MMA in Kingsport. And Casey, tell us a little bit about Rodrigo.
Rodrigo, you mentioned before those bookend matches there with Cody Jordan. The last of those happened right here in front of us in his hometown. Big finish by KO. But then last week we saw him in Pigeon Forge. He stepped up last minute, against Freddie Walker, and he went for the Valor title. Came up short on the scorecards, but really put in a valiant effort. What a fight that was.
Here's the tale of the tape. Eric Armstrong with a better record at 3-1. The age is exactly the same. Height is exactly the same. And Rodrigo Gonzales came in weighing 5 pounds heavier than Eric Armstrong. Rodrigo Gonzales started out with a loss to Austin Cohen in his career, then won 2 straight, beat John Fritz and Travis Fowler, then had the loss to Cody Jordan in 21 seconds, then beat Cody Jordan in 17 seconds via KO here in Kingsport. And he talked about,
well, we got to see a lot more out of him in that Freddie Walker fight because he went the distance. And it was a really good fight, and you got to see a little bit more. Freddie Walker got the edge on the ground, maybe in some of the positions, but by no means was it a washout. Rodrigo really held his own in that fight. Very exciting bout, and I think in this fight, Rodrigo comes in with the advantage. One being that he trains out of a great training camp in Bushido MMA right here, hometown. But, you know, he's finally got Eric Armstrong, who is very dangerous. You know he's very dangerous. And, you know, he's going to have to watch out because it's going to be some fisticuffs here.
Should be entertaining. Rodrigo Gonzales is in the cage. Back to the cage, and Jennifer Oxendine.
This bout is scheduled for 3 3-minute rounds and is brought to you by Pizza Plus. First, out of the Hog Wild red corner, he holds a record of 3 wins and 1 defeat. Weighed in at 136 pounds and fights out of Knoxville, Tennessee. Give it up for Eric Armstrong. And his opponent, out of the OEB blue corner, he holds a record of 3 wins and 3 defeats, weighed in at 141 pounds, and is representing Bushido MMA in Kingsport, Tennessee. Put your hands together for Rodrigo, the Monster Gonzales. Your referee for this fight is Jimmy Neely.
Jimmy Neely, our referee for this bantamweight bout, presented by Pizza Plus. It's Eric Armstrong in the black and white trunks, red tape on the gloves, against Rodrigo the Monster Gonzales in the black trunks, blue tape on those, and we are ready. 3-minute rounds, and we're underway. Amateur MMA from Kingsport.
There they go, Rodrigo on those feet, man, bouncing around all over the place. Great wheels under Rodrigo Gonzales as always. Oh, here we go. Rodrigo looking for the takedown here. Watch out for the guillotine of Eric Armstrong. He finishes the last opponent with it. Beautiful underhooks by Rodrigo. If he takes his time here, he's going to have some success there, and he does. Beautiful. Now, it appears as though he's landed in mount position. Now, this is one thing, is you can actually finish the guillotine from underneath mount. Rodrigo may want to go ahead and dismount to the left in order to take a little bit of pressure off, because it could actually compromise and allow Eric Armstrong to sweep here.
To his left, so opposite of where the head is.
Right,
now.
Exactly. And then that way he could possibly set up an arm triangle, also a Von Flue choke where, you know, the arm is locked in there and he can finish off that way. So he may want to do it. It appears as though Rodrigo's fine. He's not in a bad spot. It just, he's kind of held at bay here for right now. And it looks like he's escaped. Great position for Rodrigo Gonzales to finish right here. Look at that. Possibly looking for a triangle position from the top. Or maybe just some nasty, nasty ground and pound.
Trying to escape.
Looking for that arm bar.
That's
nasty.
Oh,
Tap
there it is.
out. Beautiful finish by Rodrigo Gonzales.
Wow. Minute 27 of the first round. He shakes his head. Arms out to the crowd. Great reaction. Big win for Rodrigo the Monster Gonzales, who moves to 4-3. Goodness. Did not take long. Didn't end up being the strikes when he was in that full mount position. But he transitioned well and went straight for that arm bar. It was quick.
Yeah, it was very nice. And, I thought maybe he was going to go for the triangle. You know, he had his leg over right there. I thought maybe he was just going to, sit over and maybe ground and pound, but he wanted that arm bar. He turned it over kind of funky. Ooh. And it was almost like he was going in for the omoplata. If he had twisted that arm, he still would have had the omoplata. Great transitions there.
Fans chanting, Rigo, Rigo. All right, we go back to the cage for the announcement of our winner. Here is Jennifer Oxendine.
Go!
Your referee stops this fight at 1 minute and 27 seconds into the first round for your winner via arm bar out of the OEB blue corner, Rodrigo